Welcome back.
Well, there's been another crime in the area. This one is a bit unusual. It involved an attempted break-in using an axe. Stafford County Sheriff deputies arrested 4 suspects last Friday night who are accused of attempting to break into a residence using an axe. Yes, I said an axe, right out of the movies. It sounds frightening, and it was. This should really be for our Halloween broadcast. On February 8th, deputies responded to a reported domestic disturbance with a weapon at a residence located on Eskimo Hill Road in Stafford County. The caller told the sheriff's office that she had been assaulted and several individuals were outside attempting to break into her house with an axe, and they really were trying hard too. The caller also said they had threatened to burn the house down. Upon arrival, Deputy Albrecht and Sergeant Reed located 3 female subjects and a male subject standing near a vehicle. They also located an axe near the front door. The door had numerous dents and scuff marks on it. They tried very hard to break it down. One of the subjects quickly became belligerent. Not a good idea. Officers detected the odor of alcoholic beverage emanating from her person and observed that her eyes were red and glassy. She was identified as Taylor House, age 21, of Stafford. She told deputies that the group came over to the residence after an alleged theft. Deputy Albrecht then made contact with Tina Lara, 52, also of Stafford, and Taylor Kennaugh, 25, of Fredericksburg. He detected the odor of alcoholic beverage emanating from Lara as well. She told the deputy that she, Kennaugh, and Dakota Laura Bayless, it's all one name, age 22 of Stafford, had driven to the residence to confront the victim about an alleged theft, though we have no idea what the alleged theft was. All 4 subjects were taken into custody. The victim told Deputy Albrecht that she had received several texts from Laura Bayless stating that the group of individuals was coming to her residence. The victim was standing on her porch when the group arrived, and Laura and House subsequently assaulted her, prompting the victim wisely to go back inside the residence and lock the door. That's when the axe comes in. The 4 subjects then tried to force entry into the house using the axe, and it was not really small hatchets, it was an axe. She heard some of the group repeatedly state they would burn down the house. Kennaugh was charged with assault and battery by mob, that's actually the name of a charge, and breaking and entering with intent to commit a felony. House was charged with assault and battery, by a mob, assault and battery, breaking and entering with intent to commit a felony, and public intoxication. That's a nice long list for the judge to consider. Laura Bayless was charged with assault and battery by mob, breaking and entering with intent to commit a felony, and public intoxication. Laura was charged with assault and battery by mob, assault and battery, breaking and entering with intent to commit a felony, and public intoxication. You kind of see a pattern in all this. They were all intoxicated, as well as they were getting charged with the same crime. All 4 subjects were again taken into custody and received additional charges of conspiracy to commit a felony offense. They're currently at the Rappahannock Jail.
That just goes to prove that nothing good happens with alcohol and an axe.
Amen to that. As the old saying goes, alcohol's never done anybody any favors.
It seems the word supermoon has a lot of hype. It's a trendy word, but the term was actually coined in 1979 by an astrologer named Richard Noel.
Is it dangerous?
It's not dangerous.
Are you sure?
It's just taken that long
Sounds dangerous.
to catch on. It's not dangerous at all. In fact, it's very beautiful. Noel defined a supermoon as a new or full moon, which occurs with the moon coming within 90% of its closest approach to Earth. Since then, many different astronomy organizations have developed their own definitions of a supermoon. The Farmer's Almanac has stricter rules and only classifies a full moon as a supermoon if it comes within 99% of its closest approach to Earth. By their standards, January's super blood wolf moon was not technically a supermoon.
That still sounds dangerous.
All monthly full moons are given a name based on Native American history. From January through December, they are wolf, snow, worm, pink, flower, strawberry, buck, sturgeon, corner harvest, hunter, beaver, full cold, or full long night. This month's full moon is known as the snow moon because of the history of the largest snowfall in February.
Mm-hmm.
Harsh weather made hunting difficult. It was also referred to as the hunger moon, bony moon, or little famine moon.
In other words,
they were hungry.
They were hungry. They
Yes.
couldn't hunt, yes.
If you missed January's Super Blood Wolf Moon, of course, that was under Noel's definitions, not Farmer's Almanac, make sure you set a reminder to catch this month's, because it will actually be the largest supermoon of 2019 on February 19th at 4:06 a.m. The snow moon will arrive at its closest point to the Earth for 2019, known as its perigee, or at supermoon stage. It's just 252 miles from its closest distance from Earth. It will be 221,681 miles away, whereas the closest to us the moon can get is 221,429 miles. That's at approximately 99.886%, fulfilling the criteria for the Farmer's Almanac. The largest full moon of 2019 might appear as much as 14% larger and 30% brighter because of a phenomenon known as moon illusion.
I think I remember something like that back in the 60s.
Well, a moon illusion is where bright things in the sky naturally seem to look bigger than they really are. But moon illusion is an optical illusion that causes the moon to appear larger near the horizon than it does higher up in the sky. Mm-hmm. February's super snow moon will look largest at the horizon in the east because the human eye perceives it in comparison behind natural or human-built landscapes. In comparison to those things, one's brain thinks, ginormous, whereas the moon, when it's fully risen, we have no close comparison and therefore a different depth perception as it hangs in the sky. We may not be able to see its complete astrological full point on the 19th because that will be at 10:54 a.m. when the sun has already risen, so wake up early.
Get up at least 3:30 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
And now sports with George Kerns. George.
Thanks, guys. George Kerns here for CVTV Sports. This Sunday at 2:30 on Fox is the NASCAR Super Bowl, the Daytona 500 from Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. 21-year-old William Byron and his 25-year-old teammate Alex Bowman have locked up the front row of the Great American Race. They are the youngest front row in Daytona 500 history. The last time the Daytona 500 pole sitter won the race was Dale Jarrett in 2000. Good luck to all the drivers in the race. It should be a good one. The NBA All-Star Game is this Sunday with Team LeBron versus Team Giannis. The Washington Wizards are 24-34, 3.5 games behind in the Southeast Division. The Washington Capitals are 31-19 with 69 points in the Metro Division. In men's college basketball, Virginia beat North Carolina 69-61 to propel their record to 21-2. The Duke Blue Devils almost had a scare Tuesday night when they had to make a comeback against the Louisville Cardinals. They were down 23 with 9 minutes to go and came back to win 71-69 behind freshman Zion Williamson's 27 points, Cam Reddish's 22 points, and R.J. Barrett chipped in 13 as Duke pushed their record to 22-2. In NFL news, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown wants to be traded. As he said thanks to the Steeler Nation for 9 big years, he also said it's time to move on and move forward. Quarterback Joe Flacco of the Baltimore Ravens has been traded to the Denver Broncos for a 4th-round draft pick. In high school football, North Stafford has found a successor to Joe Mangano, who stepped down as head coach after the 2018 season ended. Neil Sullivan was hired this week by the Stafford County School Board and is just a really good fit. Sullivan served as North Stafford's defensive coordinator for the past 3 years. Sullivan says they plan to continue to operate the spread offense with air raid concepts and play press man coverage on defense. High school basketball is heating up with the regional playoffs set to begin this weekend and next week. There will be a lot of area teams to make the VHSL playoffs and push their quest of a Covenant State title in the boys and girls. The Lady Foxes of King George are still undefeated and they're ranked 2nd in the state in 4A. The Colonial Forge girls and Riverbend girls will be there in the playoffs. Stafford County boys, Colonial Forge boys will also be ready to take a stand in the playoffs. In 5D, Stafford has a tough in the region. Patrick Henry of Roanoke, William Fleming, Albemarle, and Halifax are all real good, but we will have to see what happens. Be sure to follow me on the VHSL Basketball Report as I talk about the teams from around the state. Also be sure to come out and see the CVTV crew at the games with Jimmy Jones, Tim Coleman, and David Robinson. Well, that's a look at sports. I'm George Kerns for CVTV Sports. Back to you guys.
We want to thank you very much for joining us on CVTV News, brought to you by Germanna Community College. Deidre, thank you very much for a wonderful broadcast.
You're a fabulous co-host.
We had a lot of fun, and we hope to see you back next week.